Is your team cooked or not? Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Nico Talks Hockey. Today I want to talk about NHL teams that are doing quite poorly in the standings, and I want to talk about their records and their stats, and if their respective records and their stats, do they accurately reflect how bad their team is, and will that hold up throughout the rest of the season? Do they, these teams, they have bad records, bad stats, are they going to be like that for the rest of the season, or do they have time to still turn the ship around? I'm really interested to kind of find out and dig into these stats. So I've got 8 teams here that are doing quite poorly. These teams were picked based on kind of expectations. Like I don't have the Calgary Flames here, for example, even though they're the worst team in the NHL, because there weren't too many people who had expected them to make the playoffs this year. Most people had them maybe not doing this poorly, but yeah, going to be a miss for the playoffs. I got 8 teams here that did have some expectations by not only within their own fan bases, but around the league. I'd say some expectations that they would have maybe just better seasons than they're having right now. So without further ado, I want to get right into it. I want to talk about the New York Rangers, and while also talking about the New York Rangers and all these teams, I also want to talk about how there's the stat. I don't know if everyone knows it, but I'll say it just in case they don't. Um, the American Thanksgiving playoff stat. Apparently, based off of, I don't know actually how large the sample size is, but I believe it's quite large, maybe 25 years or so of data, maybe since the current cap, kind of salary cap era. But if you are in a playoff spot by American Thanksgiving, you have a 70% chance of getting into the playoffs. None of these teams that I'm about to mention are in a playoff spot right now, so that's what is so interesting is that it would suggest that you only have a 30% chance of making it if that stat is truly accurate, representing, if you still have a shot here. So I'll go back to the New York Rangers, right? The New York Rangers, let's talk about where they're at. They're 21st in the league, right? New York Rangers everything's going wrong for the New York Rangers, especially at home. Goals for is a huge one, right? They are not scoring enough goals. Away, it seems to be fine, but at home, which is at least half of their games so far, they are overall 22nd in the league for goals for. Goals against, they are actually much better. They're 8th in the league, so obviously Shesterkin is standing on his head. He's one of the best goalies so far this season, and for what it's worth, I think that he's the best goalie in the league. Not just this. I'm not just talking about the season. I'm talking about overall. But so it's the goals for, and it's obviously the home play. I don't know what it is. They're really struggling to score at home. You go into special teams, their power play is also suffering. If their goals for is suffering, it makes sense their power play is also suffering. It is 29th in the league. It's 4th worst. They're only converting on their power play 15.2% of the time. Their PK is okay. It's pretty decent actually. It's tied for 10th in the league at 81.6% of the time. They are stopping their opposing team from scoring. So for them, they need to fix their home issues, and they need to shore up scoring. They need to figure out. I think it is going to get better now that Trocheck's here. For what it's worth, my opinion, I do believe the Rangers do figure it out and they do make the playoffs. But if they do not get this scoring figured out, they will not make it. But now that Vincent Trocheck is back, I think he's a huge piece of that core six, the top six, in the forwards there, and I think that he will solve some of those issues for sure. Moving on to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto Maple Leafs are 27th in the league right now. Everything is going wrong for Toronto. Austin Matthews is now at least missing a week. Stolarz is out, and even when he was in, he wasn't doing very well. They just can't stop goals right now. Scoring is not a problem. They're actually 4th in the league for goals for. That's very good. They're still doing this even with Berube's system that's much more, down tempo, not huge on scoring. But the goals against is unbelievable. I think we're just seeing a lot of aggression here from the unbelievable goaltending we got from Stolarz and Woll last year. It's 30th in the league. They're the 3rd worst team at stopping pucks this season. Their power play percentage is not that good either. Derek Lalonde has been so far a really bad addition to kind of the bench there in Toronto. Their power play is 23rd. They're only converting on 17.4% of their power plays, and then the PK is also pretty middling to below average, I'd say. At 21st in the league, only stopping about 77.4% of the opposing power plays. So yeah, I don't know if you know the stat, but this one is also kind of one that's more of like a rule of thumb that you want your PK percentage and your power play percentage to at around 100 or better. If it's below 100, you're not doing well on the special teams as a whole. So the Leafs, they're another team. I do believe they're kind of like the Rangers where they will figure it out. I did have the Leafs as a wild card team though when I was predicting kind of the standings for the season. So I think that's what will happen. I think they squeak in as a wild card team, and we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, they won't, if they keep playing like this, they will not even be a wild card team. They'll be in the hunt for Gavin McKenna, and it gets worse because the Bruins have the number 1 overall pick. If they do not end up in the top 5 of the draft, the Bruins get their pick, which is just such terrible a situation to be in for Toronto right now. Moving on to the Washington Capitals, they are 23rd in the league. They are another team that is really struggling, and I kind of actually predicted they would struggle. I didn't think they'd struggle like this. I think they'd be a kind of a fringe, right on the cusp of a wild card, and then I actually did predict that they would ultimately miss it. So it's kind of, I guess, cool to see that. I'm not saying I'm rooting for the Capitals' downfall at all, but it's kind of good to know that I maybe have my finger on the pulse here of some of these teams. So the stats for the Capitals, their goals for the 27th, they cannot score. It's the other, it's the flip side of the coin for goals against. They are number 1 in the league because arguably the best goalie in the entire season, in the entire league this season so far has been Logan Thompson. He's been unbelievable. He absolutely should make it onto Team Canada for the Olympics. It would be an absolute misstep by Team Canada if they were to leave him off of it. So yeah, Capitals, they know how to, along with Logan Thompson, they know how to stop the opposing team from scoring. It's the goals for that's terrible, 27th. I think they're just getting regression, which a lot of people expected, including myself, a lot of regression from the amount of goals they scored last year and all the offensive pop they got from Strome and Ovechkin and everybody, pretty much, who's a forward from last year. So their power play percentage is pretty much equally as bad. It's 28th in the league. Only 15.4% of the time they're scoring. Just not good enough. Not even close to good enough. And the PK is also not that good. So Logan Thompson's really kind of helping them out. It's 25th in the league. 74.5% of the time they are stopping the opposing power play. So just it doesn't equal 100, that's for sure. And so their special team sucks, and they can't score. For what it's worth, I am predicting that the Capitals do not make the playoffs, and it sucks because if this is Ovechkin's last year in the NHL, and as a Washington Capital, that would be a pretty poor send-off for him. Moving on to the Edmonton Oilers, they are 22nd in the league currently. Their goals for, it's okay, it's pretty good, it's decent. It's probably not as good as it should be because you've got Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. It's 13th in the league, so they're scoring, yeah, but that was never the problem. It's their goaltending. Their goaltending is god-awful, and I know they have Ingram, and I'm sure he'll eventually make his way up, and he'll probably take over that starting net, but I still think that Stan Bowman has to do something big. He has to swing for the fences. I suggest going for Jordan Binnington if the Blues continue down this road of not close to playoff contention. So that's my 2 cents on the whole goaltending matter. For the Oilers, they're 28th in the league for goals against, so they're letting in so many. Power play is amazing, and it should be, right? It's 3rd in the league. They're converting on 31.3% of their power plays. That's really, really good. The PK is actually not even that bad. Again, I don't think it's the defense really all that much. They're tied for 10th along with the Rangers. At 81.6% of the time, they're stopping the opposing power play. So yeah, fixed goaltending. The Edmonton Oilers are, again, I think, probably the cup favorite, I want to say. Fixed goaltending. You get a decent to really good goaltender. I don't care what you have to pay for Edmonton. You have to do it. You have to get a cup in Edmonton for your big guys like Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. Moving on to the St. Louis Blues. They are 29th in the league. They are the 4th worst team in the league right now. Just talking about that one, Binnington. If they continue on this, they might want to try and sell high. It depends on what their plans are, right? I don't know when their GM, Doug Armstrong's contract is up and when they're shifting over to Alexander Steen for when he becomes the full-time GM there in St. Louis. If that happens at the end of this year, that's very interesting because I think the plans of what to do with this team might change or shift. I've been kind of advocating for St. Louis to go on like a mini rebuild for for a while now. I think 2 years of tanking would just be perfect for this team to kind of get a couple, maybe even 3 or 4 really good blue chip prospects, get as many assets as you can, while still keeping. I would say keep Jordan Kyrou, keep Robert Thomas. Keep Parayko, but sell, I'd say, everyone else. Obviously, keep your young guys like Dvorsky and all those young prospects you have, because you do have a decent prospect pool that you can build upon. But anyway, I digress. The Blues' goals for is pretty bad. It's 24th in the league. Their goals against is even worse. It's the second worst in the league at 31st. They've had some pretty horrific goaltending right now. Hofer has been really, really bad. And Binnington, he's not been that great so far. Obviously, he takes his play to the next level when it's big time moments, and I think that maybe the time for Binnington to say his goodbye to St. Louis if the plans change there again in St. Louis. Their power play percentage is 9th. It's pretty good actually. 24.4% of the time they're scoring on their power play, and the PK though is so bad. 29th in the league at 70.5% of the time. So they really can't stop their opposition from scoring on them. I do not believe the the St. Louis Blues, I do not believe they will fix their problems this season. I believe it'll be a missed playoffs and kind of a lost season in that regard for them. But they do have time, I think, to kind of, they have a chance. They have an opportunity to get a really, really good prospect in this year's draft. Moving on to the Minnesota Wild at 26th in the league. They can't score at 5-on-5. Their power play is really good. Let's get into it. So the 26th in the league, goals for 18th. Pretty middling, right? Their goals against is actually, that's way worse than I expected. It's 26th in the league. Goaltending is, I didn't think it'd be a problem this year, and I don't think it's really that. I think it's a combination, I'd say, of defense and goaltending for Minnesota right now. And it doesn't help that they also can't outscore their problems that much. Power play is very, very good. Their power play is clicking. It's 4th in the league. Kaprizov, Boldy, Rossi, Boyum has been awesome on the power play. That's converting at 28.8%. The PK is really bad. So I thought that when I was kind of writing this up, I was like, the Wild's problem, they just can't score at 5-on-5. It's more than that. They have trouble stopping the puck as well, stopping the puck from going into the back of their net. So their PK is 28th in the league, 72.5% of the time. It's only 72.5% that they're stopping the opposition's power play. So really not good enough for the Wild. In terms of what I predict, I think they have a better shot than the Blues of turning it around. That being said, I didn't predict them to make the playoffs going into the season. And I don't predict them to make it now. I think it only strengthens my belief in that happening, which is really, really bad for Minnesota because the implications of maybe upper management. I think John Hynes is absolutely losing his job soon, and I think it would be a mistake to lose Bill Guerin, but that is a potential reality soon. Moving on to the last team here, though, I've got the Nashville Predators. This is a team that I was so low on going into the season. I believe I had them in the bottom 3. I think they will have a very good shot at getting Gavin McKenna. They are 31st in the league. They're second worst in the league. Their goals for is terrible. It's 25th, and their goals against is the worst in the league at 32nd. I do not believe there's any saving this team as it is currently built. I unfortunately think that Barry Trotz, unfortunately for Nashville, I think that he's the worst GM in the entire league. I just don't think he's got a lot of experience on the job, and I think that he forced them to be competitive when their roster really wasn't supposed to be. So I think that nothing would help the Predators better than to get a really good prospect this year's draft. Finishing up on the power play and PK, their power play is 22nd, 17.5% of the time they're scoring on that one, and the PK, it's actually decent. It's 13%. It's a little bit better than you'd think for the Nashville Predators. They're stopping 88.7% of the opposition's power plays. But yeah, Predators, I think they finished bottom 3 in the league. Yeah, that's probably where I have them finishing still. But that has been it. That is the 8 teams I wanted to go over and kind of, are they cooked, or is there time for them to really turn it around? I think it's really interesting. I really would like to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments what you think about these teams. Do they have time to turn? I mean, yes, there's time to turn around, but do you think they'll actually turn around? Is what their current stats and their current record, is it actually indicative of how good their team is or not? But yeah, please let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It means so much to me. We recently hit 200 subscribers, and that was a really, really cool sight to see. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.